The Bro Roadshow is starting now. Presented by Razor Ice Augers, Lund Boats, Mercury Marine, Amped Outdoors, Vincota, Humminbird, Ray's Sport and Marine, Fish Armor, Northland Fishing Tackle, Gamakatsu, St. Croix Rods, 7 Reels, Sunline, Aftco, Fish Monkey, live and unfiltered. This is the Bro Roadshow. Everybody, welcome to the show. We got a great show tonight. I've been working on my boat. Anybody out there working on your boat? Or maybe you're done. You already been fishing, whatever. There's always something, but it's fun and it could be really easy. And I want to make it easy for you tonight. I brought some people on that are really going to make your life easy. So pay attention coming up here. Plus, we got giveaways. I want to thank Chesterburg Toyota in Bemidji for the on-air sponsorship. Because of Chesterburg, we're able to do this, and they got brand new trucks, Toyota trucks. That dealership is new, big, fantastic, state of the art. Plus, they got an April sale. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free at Chesterburg Toyota. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free. What do you get free anymore? You get the show for free. Plus, I give you stuff. So, Chesterburg Toyota, thank you. They are a great dealership, and they can fix your car, oil change, you name it. State-of-the-art place, big, beautiful. It looks like a Roman Coliseum. Okay, also, Timberline Sports in Black Duck. On your way up to the Rainy River, stop there, get some minnows, buy a gun, order a pizza, say hi, Carl and John and everybody there. They have everything you need plus sage advice to get you on your way and tell you what's going on up on the Rainy River, Lake of the Woods, or Black Duck area if you're hitting late ice. So thank you, Timberline Sports and Black Duck. Plus, they set up the giveaways here. We got really cool giveaways, and we have a Rainy River setup. So we'll show you that here in a little bit. But right now, let's bring on Nick Cox. I want to hear what's going on. There's an official opening of a lake right now, and it is Minnetonka is wide open, and I'm seeing stuff about it. What do you say, Nick? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm checking in.
Hey, how's it going there? And you're just a few miles from Minnetonka, so you get to see all that's happening. You know that vibe, and that is wide open. They're fishing crappies there.
They're fishing crappies. We're seeing kayaks, canoes, john boats. Not a lot of big boats out there yet, but a lot of tin boats. So guys are out there, and in the normal haunts, they're checking their spots. You know, we've always got the annual crappie contest out here on Lake Minnetonka, which was for years by the Sharas, and that's been taken over by another organization. But you come on down here and you can see some of the size of these metro fish, and it's pretty impressive. So they're out there trying.
Well, that's a big body of water, 40,000 acres. Plus, right now, Rainy it's a tradition in Minnesota. You know, people go to the Rainy to catch a 30-incher. They call them dirty 30s. Where'd that come from? Why can't it be a purdy 30? You know,
a purdy 30, yeah, exactly.
Dirty 30. But anyway, I also want to reach out and tell everybody, hope you had a great Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. And I didn't see any stripping operations going on at Cutfoot. So make sure you keep tuned. If they're going to do anything, I'll let you know so you can come up and watch them handle these big walleyes or any of that stuff. So pretty cool. So on the show tonight, we're going to have you, Nick. We're going to have you come back a little later, but we're going to have people talking about rigging your boat like super fast, like it's never, ever been done before with the best ingredients, and you could do it with a spatula and a screwdriver. I'm telling you. I'm not joking. It's crazy easy, but I don't give
it away. Hear about ice augers anymore or what?
Well, but
let's go to the relevant, right? Boats are new. They're ice fishing this last season. So
well, you know, last year it was all we just talked about the river, nothing else, all the rivers. This year, I just got a call from a buddy who put on 100 and something miles on a lake on his snowmobile just to go get something to eat and come back. And they didn't have fishing rods, but they're in some cool border water, and up there it's a different world. That's another hour and a half north, and it is tremendously different ice
depending on where you're at. The Arrowhead always has ice. I mean, when we're grilling out in the summertime, they got ice somewhere up there. That's just how it is. But so, Nick, uh, any more specials you want to bring up? Do you have anything left after last week?
Oh, we are pretty much cleaned up for next season. We're working on getting our final dealer orders in now to make sure that razors are available to our customers for next year, and blades, extensions, accessories. So, while you guys are all transitioning to open water, I'm still kind of left in ice for the next 30 or 45 days until we wrap up all those dealer sales, and then I plan on getting up there with Bro and wetting a line or two. I was just looking at this image that I wanted to share. I don't know if it's a good one, but it just showed the ice cover today. You can see the snow line in Minnesota. There's Lake Superior. You can see the big lakes here. So like you're saying, it is a different country up there, bro. You can see Red Lake right there and Leech. So that's right in your neck of the woods. You'll be on ice a couple weeks maybe.
And it's going to be everybody's neck of the woods, because I just talked to Nick Linder. He was up at Rainy. He's still up there right now, and giving us water temperatures. And if it's in that 35 or so degrees, that's chewing up the ice straight down to the gap. Yeah. Now, I know we don't have a long season this year because it closes on Tuesday, I think it is the 14th. And unfortunately, the Rainy walleyes get to go to sleep. I think we should extend that one of these years. We're throwing them back anyway, but that's for a discussion if you go to Alexandria, Minnesota on the 17th in the morning. Yeah, exactly. Minfish meeting will be there, a meeting with the DNR. Some cool stuff they're going to be talking about. And so that's Alexandria. Look it up, Minfish. You could join that meeting. There's not a lot of room, so you want to get there early. And Fishing with the Pros, Nick, what's going on there?
That's also April 17th. That starts in the evening. It's at Rice Creek Hunt Club. It basically is a fundraiser for the Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame in Little Falls, and it's $40 for a ticket. Gets you in, gets you a nice chicken dinner, a meal, socialize, sit down with local pros, guys like Brian Brosdahl, Billy Linder. We've got so many big names in the house, and there's silent auctions, there's giveaways. So it's just so much fun, and I've had the opportunity to be part of it for the last 5 years, and you've been a part of it for a while now, and so I always look forward to it. So if you're not, you can always take a trip up to Minfish and then head back over to Little Falls area to Rice Creek Hunt Club April 17th, or get your tickets online at Minnesota Fishing Museum and join us.
It'll be tempting to get up at Dark 30 and hit both. That's a long day, and then drive home at night. For me, being the furthest away, but it's all really good. And then also, there's a lot of stuff going on coming up at this time. Now on Race Sport and Marine in Grand Rapids here is going to have an open house Friday and Saturday. Make sure to stop by. They're going to have all kinds of boats and deals and pros there too. So it's going to be really, really a good time this coming up weekend, as a matter of fact. So make sure to stop there Friday, Saturday, open house. And then St. Croix spring event in Park Falls, Wisconsin, Bros event. So we're going to be there, and that's I'll be there doing a seminar, Joel Nelson, and then other pros. So make sure to stop by. That's Blake Tullifson there. And so stop by. We're doing seminars, and there's going to be deals at the St. Croix tackle shop there, right there. And bring your wallet. You're going to want to buy some rods there and reels and all kinds of good stuff. And so stop in there. But Nick, I'll bring you on a little bit.
That sounds good. Let's talk about some interesting boat connection stuff, and I'm looking forward to hearing from some of your other guests too.
That sounds good. So for now, I want to bring on Cal Monkfold. He is the owner of Connecties, and I am so glad to have him on the show. I don't know if he's here yet. If not, we'll get him here. But Cal owns Connecties, and here he is. Hey, Cal. Welcome to the show.
Guys.
I want to give you a little history on Cal here. Cal he's kind of a genius, and he's come up with something that helps guys like me. I'm not a rocket scientist. I see wires all over the place. It looks like I'm doing surgery on a brain. So he has made my life easier. Plug and play stuff. Cal, tell them what your products are here.
We build real simple solutions for doing everything from series connections in trolling motor power to electronics, and dumbed it down, made it so it's really easy for the average guy to do it yourself or to actually come in and rig a boat for electronics, trolling motors, starters, power poles, that types of things. It's all based on a plug and play system where you know, you have a couple parts and you have one part on a battery and you have another part here, and they just snap together to get power. If you want to disconnect it, you can disconnect it, because us in the North Country, sometimes we take our batteries out or we got to replace them and so on and so forth. So you actually can put one piece in that actually connects your system, and then you've got this piece on your battery. It all snaps together like that real quick. It's all based on that premise. I came up out of the electric world and was in the computer science world for quite a while. Pretty blessed and have a lot of toys, so I am like the average guy. I just want to wire stuff quick and fast, and I want to actually do it so it stays connected forever. I don't have to chase around with corrosion or vibration or any of those other things that affect bolts, you know. So I created some stuff for my own personal use, actually. A bunch of friends saw it and said, "That's awesome. Can we have some? Can you make some?" And that started the whole Connect These process back in 2004. And we've since uh, snowballed it, got 3-4 patents on it, and actually are pretty much the. There you are.
There we go. So Cal has.
So we're pretty much the leaders in how to connect things in a boat. We make the ultimate systems, so on and so forth. So we have products that actually are made for. Well, Brian, you have this in your boat. It's a Graph Power Pro. It'll connect up to 8 electronics in a boat, 2 at the console, 2 up front, or if you got a rear tiller, we've got a model for that as well. It's all marine 8-gauge wiring, fused at the graphs and so on and so forth, according to whatever manufacturer they want to do. And it just slides through your thing. It's all nylon coated with sheathing and made to protect. Comes with all the fuses and everything you need to put this in a boat. Once you get in your boat, all you need is a stripper or a wire cutter, a stripper, a crimper, and a heat gun, and you're pretty much ready to go. So we make that for electronics. Then we made easy snap together 24-volt systems for 12-volt lithium batteries or AGMs or whatever you're using for your trolling motor. Snap together. The bridge connection that confuses everybody's here, and you can integrate your charging leads or your onboard charging system into that. So once you get that in, you get it crimped and you actually get it all heat shrunk. It's bulletproof. It's going to last forever. And then whenever you need to remove your batteries, you just snap them, disconnect them, and pull them out of the boat. So now that they got guys like Matt over at AMP that make these lithium batteries are a lot easier. All those guys that own walleye boats, you know, those things are always down underneath the rod locker in the front. And I'm not the spring chicken I used to be. They're a lot easier to move out as opposed to the other stuff. And, you know, the engineers that make these boats, they don't think about how easy it is for you to use it. And their wiring is kind of like early 90s, maybe mid 90s wiring. They haven't really changed it much. We make pro kits actually for 6-gauge trolling motors. It's all inclusive. It even has your 60 amp circuit breaker on there, the fuse block for the negative, and it works the same way, except for it's made out of 6-gauge wire. So some of your quests, your instincts, the force, the crack, and all these new stuff that says you need 6-gauge wire. That's what that's made for, actually, to be honest with you. And then I just sent one of these off to Brian because he was a little confused on how to hook up 2 24-volt amp lithium batteries. We had a little discussion. We have a system actually that parallel hooks up 224s or 236s. It doesn't matter. Either one. We've got a kit for each one, each particular model. And what it does is it actually hooks those 2 batteries in parallel. This is a charge lead, so it actually charges negative on this battery and the positive on this battery, so it charges them correctly the way they're supposed to be. Comes with a little adapter so you can actually connect it on your charger. But a lot of the new lithium guys, we've kind of started a craze with these Anderson connections. A lot of them are actually putting them on there. Dakota is, Amp does, Norse does, MillerTech's got them on there too, which I deal with all of those guys. So we can kind of tell you we've played with just about everybody's kind of battery there is, from all the way from Dakota all the way through Amp and Norsk and everybody else. We've charged them up and checked them out according to the board I've got here. And I'm kind of a geek when it comes to wiring. I really want, I'm not a geek, I'm obsessed with it, to be honest with you. I actually want to make it as easy for possible for people to hook up what they need to do, so you spend more time on the water, fishing and enjoying yourself, as opposed to fighting with how to do this or how to look up 15 different YouTube videos that are all probably different on how to do something by some expert who doesn't really know what they're doing. But anyway, we make a whole line of products like that. We sell them at Shields, Bass Pro, online. We've got our own website and so on and so forth, connect-ease.com. So you can purchase that. And we've got all kinds of different models, from everything from jet skis to bass boats to, golf carts and a bunch of other models that people would be interested in. Anything to do that you hook up outdoors in a battery, we probably make something for it. I really get a bang out of actually making it really easy for people to hook stuff up and enjoy what they're doing in the outdoors. I've been very blessed to have a lot of toys, so obviously this all came out of us being frustrated with how batteries were connected and how tough it was, and dropping your nuts in the bottom of the boat trying to hook up stuff. So our stuff's all made easy to use. You can hook it up on the deck, drop your batteries in, snap them all together, and you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I liked it, and I put it in on my.
Now that I've rambled on for 10 minutes.
And so the Lund that I put it in, it's so nice because you just put it on the battery, then you wire in your electronics and punch it together, and it's ready to go. And I like how simple and clean it looks, and the gauge of wiring is fantastic. In a boat, it should bring up the value because you have pure, really, really great wiring. And when people see it, they'll love it. So it's pretty cool. Outside of that, do you have a battery to sonar that you could show real close to the camera? So I can see you there. But anyway, so Connectease is online. You order that, and it'll make things easy. Whether you got one sonar, or you got two, or you got four, you just hook it all up. And in the past, Cal, you and I were talking about how people had everything wired to the key. All of it was wired to the key. And what could go wrong? So usually the batteries could go wrong, and so that's the whole thing. So Connectease. So can you hear us, Cal? Well, so anyway, so Connectease is something you want. If you're wiring a boat, I don't care if it's an older boat or new boat. I've used them on 3 boats now. Fantastic. So you want to definitely hook up with Cal at Connectease, and all your companies are using Cal stuff. So it makes things simple. Instead of a whole bunch of wires, there's a few wires, and really, really solid wiring. So, but I appreciate it, Cal. Thanks for having us, and let's bring Matt on. Matt from Amped Outdoors, if he's ready here.
Always ready for you, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
A little bit early because I kind of lost him there, and but I I love using the stuff. I'm on my third boat, and even my old panfish river boat that I use, which is an old Mr. Walleye Lund, have it wired, and I have all your batteries, and I've had your batteries for many years, and they just last forever. And what do you have for in stock, and what do you have coming up for this year in open water?
Oh, we've got everything in stock. We're pretty excited for open water. For us, it kind of kicked off about a month ago. So we started doing a lot of our open water, shows. We still got that ice stuff out there, but not too many people really dabbling in that, anymore. I mean, down over by us, in the metro area, we got 65 degrees tomorrow, I think, and then 70s a couple of days next week. So I know we're thinking about that. I got some invites to go up for open water crappie already from the Westermans. So I'm looking to get out on the open water stuff. But we've got everything available. All of our retailers have their spring stock in stock, which is great. And yeah, we've been just fielding questions nonstop, how to rig your boat for the season. And, kind of piggyback on Cal's stuff, we do have their stuff on our website. So if you're looking for a one-stop solution, outside of Lake Shields, it'll have, our products. We do carry a lot of the Connectee stuff on our site. I do have it in my boat as well. And honestly, that's one thing I wish more people would focus on is, it's not just buying all these big expensive electronics and then buying that big expensive battery to make sure to power it, or the right battery to power it, but then make sure that you have the right wiring in your boat, because believe me, that makes a huge difference in overall performance on your trolling motors and electronics.
Well, that's something I really wanted to show the people the package. It's just there's a connector, and then one side positive negative battery on your battery. The other side goes to your sonars, and you don't have it on anything else. It's just that. So easy. And then you have one just for your trolling motor. It goes to your trolling motor and then to your 36 volt or 24 volt batteries. And he's even integrated a charging system, so it's bro proof when you're charging it, and it's pretty cool. I like that. But on the batteries here, I've watched lithium go from just a thought or just a tiny thing to a gigantic thing. And anybody's ever used it, you got to use it. That's the way you got to use it. Nowadays, because in the past we used to put everything to the starting battery, which is chaos, absolute chaos. If you're still wired the old-fashioned way, all you need is to connect these and get an amped battery for all your sonars. Do not put on anything else, and then get one for your trolling motor. And so, how would you recommend? What would you recommend somebody with say a Lund tiller or a just a regular fishing boat to start out?
Yeah, so I mean, we can pair you up with really anything that you need. If it's the sonar, the trolling motor, or if you want to do everything together, and in spring, this is the best time to really get everything together in your boat, right? If you haven't already, you're going to be using your openers a month away. So I'd suggest, get your batteries charged, right? Make sure everything is working properly. If you've got some dead lead acid batteries, man, this is really the time to really look into something like this. And, on our website, we've got a great tool where you can input all of the graphs that you have in your boat, forward-facing sonar. It'll tell you, with all the different batteries we have, how long they're going to last per charge. So it's really a great sizing tool. But we'll have people that'll go anywhere from our smaller 60 amp hour. We have all the way up to 180 amp hour single battery that you can power all your electronics on. And from the electronic side of it, if you have just a couple of screens, a smaller battery is fine. But if you get into those 12-inch to 16-inch screens, I've seen people even go larger now with 20+ inch screens in their boat. They just draw a ton of power. And I'll tell you that lead acid batteries just don't cut it, because where you have issues on lead acid based batteries is that they start off at 12.8 volts, but when you're putting, drawing all that power out of them, they quickly drop below 12 volts. That's where you start to lose image quality. That's where you start to kill your starting battery. So when you want to start your motor, it's just not there, right? So I always recommend, get a good sizable battery to power all of your electronics. lithium are made to last 10 plus years. So get something that's future proof. If you plan on outfitting your boat with all these, large electronics in the future, get one that's going to be able to handle that, because these batteries will last a long time. And not only are you going to stay above that 12 volt range, I mean, a 12.8 volt lithium battery will stay close to 13 volts the whole time you're using it. You never have to worry about loss in image quality because you're dropping too low. Shouldn't have to worry about running out of power. And then the other cool thing is when you have a technology like this packed with all this, you have the ability to pull up on your phone an app. And I know, if you haven't seen that before, we got our Bluetooth app. It'll tell you how much power you're drawing, where you're at, how long it's gonna last. Like right now, I've got a battery that's discharging on a tester. It's got 4. I know it's gonna be dead in about 4 hours based off of my power draw. So you can monitor that through the day. It gives you a peace of mind, kind of know where you're at. And it's also a great thing too, because when you're traveling, you plug in somewhere, you just pull up your app and know that your batteries are charging, right? Make sure that the outlets work. So it's just a great little tool to have that. And then on the trolling motor side, this is where we can really have a lot of fun, because you can really eliminate having the 2-3 batteries in your boat. In front of me here, this is a 36 volt, 60 amp hour battery. This replaces 3 lead acid batteries in your boat. And a lot of times people look at this and they're like, oh, there's no way that's ever gonna, last on my trolling motor. I'll tell you what, this packs, 30 to 40% more power than most 36 volt 3 battery systems in lead acid that you put in your boat today in just one single battery. So save a ton of weight, and it just makes it really easy, because you have 2 connections on the battery. You have 2 positive and 2 negative leads. You have a place for your charger, you have a place for your trolling motor, and that's it. It's
I love
really,
that.
really simple.
That's a newer thing from what I remember. And we had a quick question before it goes off the screen here. 24 volt battery. I think they're amazing. And someone just asked, what do they need to replace their 24 volt battery? Well, I would suggest 2, but basically, you just get 2 amp batteries, and they're super light. What do they weigh?
Yeah, well, a battery like this is about 40 pounds. This is about my heaviest one. I've got a 24 volt, 80 amp hour battery that for 95% of people out there is going to be more than enough, more than you'll ever, need in a day. Most people never use about 50 usable amp hours in a trolling motor in a day. So a single 24 volt battery, the exact same size as this one, is going to weigh about 34 pounds. And really, yeah, you're taking out 2 or 3 batteries that can weigh anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds each. So you're saving a ton of weight, you're saving space, and it just really makes everything easy.
So how many hours would that last? Let's say average speed 3, because 3 is kind of a very average. A 24 80 amp hour battery last a person. Would that last? That last all of 8 or 10 hours, wouldn't it?
Oh, and if not more. I mean, your lower speeds on a trolling motor are very efficient. So your speeds 1 through 5 are efficient. For people that are running at higher speeds, that top 50%, that's where you really lose a lot of that efficiency, and you draw a lot more power. So if you're running on full speed all day long, I mean, a battery like this may only last 2 hours, right? They're really not made to do that. But if you're running those speeds 1 through 5, I mean, you're typically drawing 10 amps or less, 60 amp hour battery, on speed 3. It could even last a person 2 full days on the water.
It's incredible. And then when you deal with the walleye tournaments, and they're on big waters like Green Bay, Lake Erie, rivers and stuff, and those guys really use a lot. Do they ever series 3 of them, or is it always 2? Or is everybody making?
So your heavier users, all of my like my walleye pros that we have out there, and even the big bass anglers who are heavy, in pre-fishing and really rough water, a lot of wind, or the river fishermen right now, like fishing, the pools of Mississippi, they're fishing strong current. They require that more power. You can take, seriously up to 4 of these and put them together in parallel, right? So if I would take like 2 50 amp hour batteries, put them together, that gives me 100 amp hours. Put 3 of them together and give me 150 amp hours. Traditional batteries, 3 lead acid in your boat are 40 to 50 usable amp hours. So you're 2 to 3 times the operating time by putting, 2 or 3 of these together.
It's incredible. And then you watch people sturgeon fishing, and they used to use an anchor. Now they're all using spot lock. And so the when the big, you got a 60-inch sturgeon trying to knock the bait out of his mouth, they got no anchor to get around. They don't have, so it's really cool. It really helps in a lot of type of fishing, and everything's so far advanced. And then with Cal's wiring, he's got pure copper, super heavy gauge. That's got to help a little bit deliver power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing we kind of touched on a little bit earlier is having inadequate power. So, I mean, my boat was manufactured, I think it was like 4 years ago, and the wiring that's stock in these boats are just so small. And when you're putting all of these electronics in your boat, you're really starving a lot of your electronics advantages, because it's like a hose, right? If you have this tiny little hose, you can't push a whole lot of water through it, right? Well, your graphs are trying to draw all this power, and in the small wiring, it's just not capable of doing that. And that's where you really have issues. So having quality, wiring run through your boat. I mean, I ran, I think, from the front to the back of my boat, that Connect-Ease kit. I've got 4 graphs running off of 2 of my dash 2 at the bow. And I probably had that rigged up in an hour and a half. And that is, pushing everything through, making sure everything was clean, zip tying stuff in, and doing all my connections. It was a really simple and easy thing to do. But that's one thing to look at. If you're putting these larger screens in your boat, I'm talking like even larger than 5 and 7 inch screens, make sure you have better wiring in your boat than typically what they're putting in stock, because it's just not adequate.
And what's the best battery charger for your different batteries? That's another question that popped up. I wanted to get through here.
Yeah, so I mean, just about all of your major manufacturers of chargers, your Minn Kotas and Dual Pros and all those, they're all lithium based now, and they have been for the last couple of years. The downside of those is that they only charge 12-volt batteries, so you're kind of stuck with having a standard starting battery, maybe electronics battery, and then having to run 12-volt batteries in series, kind of the old way, versus doing 24 and 36 volts. So when we sell batteries, we have the option, when you buy like this 36 volt 60 amp hour kind of default with the charger on our website, like this is $12.49, and that includes a 36 volt charger that you can just plug into it, and then you can have your separate 2 or 3 bank charger in your boat for your other 12 volt accessories. And you can combine those 2 chargers into one connection, so you have one plug-in. Otherwise, like, we have multi-bank chargers available now that'll do 24, 36 volt, and then 12 volt batteries. So you can have one charger that'll do your 12 volt batteries and your 24 and 36 volt. Those have been hotter than ever. I think today we sold out of that 36 volt version. We'll be on that for a couple of weeks, but we're seeing a huge demand spike with people rigging right now.
I've never ran out of juice with a 36 volt amped battery, and I got 2 of them in series, and I've never ran out of juice in all my guide trips, and all the wind, and all the 20, 30, 40 mile an hour. So there's something to be said about that in that 36 volt running a Quest. There's someone who was wondering, 2 12-inch Humminbirds on a 60 amp hour battery, how long should that last? Would 1 battery or 2 batteries be best for that?
A 60 amp hour battery. So, a 10-inch screen's usually like 2 amp draw. You get up to 3 amp draw on your 12-inch screens, typically 2.5, 3 amps. So a 60 amp hour battery. If you're running 2 12-inch, say you're running 5 to 6 amp total draw. So 60 amp hour batteries should give you, 10, 12 plus hours of operation and something like that. It'd be just fine. I can do the math in my head, because I do it 100 times a day for people, but we have that calculator on our website too. You can plug in your specific unit. So if you've got the Explorer 12 that draws more power than, say, a Helix 12, right? You can put all that information in. It'll tell you your power draw, tell you how long it's going to last in a 60 amp hour battery, and we kind of, in the equations, we're a little. We've got the equation set up, so we'll kind of estimate a little bit less of what you'll actually get out of it, because that's always a good thing to do. We don't want to over promise, under deliver on something. So but check that out. If you go to our website, there's some links on the bottom. They don't have, there's like Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance. You can click on those, and it'll bring you right to that chart.
So now with Amped, what is your mantra that makes you better than anybody? And I got to say, they pick up the phone, they get back to you. Unlike anything I've ever heard of. I talked to thousands of people in the course of a year, and they all say you have the best customer service bar none.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, and that's what we pride ourselves on. That's how we started the company. It's customer focused, right? So customers first. Lithium battery companies honestly are very regional. We're one of the biggest ones here in, I'd say, the Midwest or North. All of our batteries are built for northern climates. We understand how people fish up here, right? The walleye, to bass, to sturgeon, to whatever it is. We understand the boats that we're rigging up in this area. Probably better than any other lithium battery company out there. So we can speak specifically to you. All of our batteries are cold weather batteries and built-in heated charge. We have that Bluetooth. So we have the functionality needed really to perform the best in the northern states.
That's absolutely amazing. Everybody remember that Amped is designed for here, not some magical place. And always the best. What brought me to Amped is I've never been a company, and I've had other companies and dealings that has been so good with customer service. And what is your warranty on the batteries?
Yeah, so all of our big batteries come with 10 years total warranty, which it's pretty standard now out there. I mean, a lot of times you got to be careful because there's like lithium battery wars when it comes to warranties and stuff. And there's a lot of fine print. But one thing that we've prided ourselves on, whether it's, working directly with you at the customer or working with our retailers, is that we just take care of our customers, right? So within that 10 years, I mean, you're not going to really have to worry. If you do have an issue, get a hold of us. 9 out of 10 times it's something really simple. We can fix over the phone. We can fix by sending you some instructions of why your charger's not resetting the battery because it was left depleted for a while or whatever it happens to be. We're just here to help.
That's fantastic, everybody. There's Matt Lardenoy from Amped Outdoors. Better check it out if you're putting batteries in your boat. For lithium, they're affordable. They're the best customer service. I use them, which tells you something. I'm a wrecking ball, and so Amped Outdoors, everybody. And thanks, Matt, for coming on. And we're going to bring on Nick in a little bit, but first I've got to talk about the prize pack. There is a prize pack, and we hit the ground running here tonight. It was crazy. So let's talk about that prize pack. We got it right here. We have the Rainy River Kit. Check this out. Timberline Sports is a proud sponsor of the on-air part of the show, and they got their cool hat. So you got swag. You got the beautiful hat for gripping and grinning, a 30-incher, and Timberline Sports cap if it gets really cold. Of course, eye candy picked out by the pros themselves at Timberline, Carl, John, and all the pros, and then MVP Jake and the Underspin Smeltinator all in one pack. That's a lot of loot. At the end of the show, like, share, and everything else, and you're in to win. So now we should see what Nick's up to. Nick, come on back. Let's answer these questions and talk shop with everybody.
Sounds good. I was just going to add something to that, and I was just figuring it out. I was going to add one more coupon code for Razor Ice Augers for the Bro Roadshow, only for the viewers, but you can share this with your friends. If you go to razorpower.com and you enter whatever's left in stock, you pick out some blades or whatever, enter in Bro50 at checkout. This is it for the season. Get 50% off anything left in stock at razorpower.com.
Love it.
No minimum orders. So yeah, we're seeing orders come in with blades and stuff. So that, I know there's a need out there.
There's a need for all this stuff, and there's some people still going that need blades or need augers. Believe it or not, in some areas, they're still going to have ice. It doesn't matter if we get 50s, 60s. It's way warmer south. This is like the UP of upper and lower Michigan. And the Twin Cities is like, maybe like Detroit or something. And we're up in the cold area. But so it's kind of done where I'm at, but farther north, there's always ice somewhere. And so I'm imagining that they're still going to be chasing pike and crappies on the border. And but right now, there's a few questions we had here. People want to know what line to use for panfish, and that's actually simple because we're going into open water, and I love Sunline. Just the quality is unsurpassed, and they are very, very, very high quality. The ingredients from the fluorocarbon to the braid, everything down to the basic commodity built into this super, super beautiful line. But Sunline, I like to use a 3 pound or 4 pound, even 5 if I'm in pike infested waters because I want to get my jig back. And it's subtle and use light line. I'll use braid, but if I use braid, I'll go with 8 pound Sunline SX1, 8 pound green, or you can try some different stuff. But there's definitely Plasma's bright lime green. Just tie a leader on the end when you're fishing crappies. St. Croix rod. I mean, it's hard for them to keep in stock. They're Panfish Elite 7 foots. They are so popular. I still like the 6.5. So great questions. Appreciate that. And so right after the spawn, someone had a question: do the crappies come in shallow right after ice spawn? And in your neck of the woods, Nick, you are in the early crappie stage.
Yeah, I mean, for my area, Metro, Lake Minnetonka, I mean, the crappies are, right now you're going to look for anywhere from 3 to 10 feet, maybe even shallower. There's a lot of wood docks on Minnetonka. There's a lot of weed lines and some little brush piles. But, the muddy bays on the northern side of the lake, the northern bays, those are going to warm up first. That's typically where most of the anglers are targeting those crappies. And I think that rule holds true for most bodies of water. The muddier bays are going to warm up first, and that's where you're going to find a lot of those fish. But we're fishing docks a lot on Lake Minnetonka. I mean, there's a dock every 10 feet on this lake. And, what is there, 100 and some miles of shoreline if you combine it all, 26 different bays. So channels, little back corners of bays. I mean, you just got to go out there and use your electronics and you might find a bite. You don't have to always follow everybody else around. Using side scan, checking those weed lines. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there for you to find your own pot of fish.
And that's a lake that's got crappies like scattered around, but they're pretty much anywhere that there's some kind of vegetation, aren't they?
Yeah. And you're going to find a wide range of crappies too. So a lot of the bays get hit pretty hard in the winter, being the metro area and, the metro's largest lake. It's very popular. So in the winter times, you go out and you fish in you just drive along and you see these community holes and basins. And, you might pull up a 12 to a 14 incher in those spots occasionally, a high flying solo roamer on ice fishing. When it comes to the open water, they just spread out. They spread out a lot. You can see certain bays have like congregations of boats where you'd be like, oh, all 20 of those boats are fishing, the same school of crappies, but they're all over. But I go in that 3 to 10 foot range, slip bobber, maybe a little forward facing sonar, to get the kids on them right away. It's fun,
Well, we had a question of blades on a jig, and absolutely blades on a jig, but you want to use something smaller. A deep V underspin is great. Here's a Smeltinator underspin. These things really flicker in fish. A lot of fish are feeding up. So instead of having a spinner above it, like a bass spinner, you got it below. It's right in their face. And so they see that and they're coming up and they grab the plastic. But one of my favorite ways to go for panfish all the time, I love pan candy. So they got small versions of like the eye candy, but they're really mushy. They're super soft. It's like chewing gum. And then put a little scent on there, little squid or any kind of scent. If everybody asks me about scent, I just like where I got all kinds. I got everybody's brand. They all work. Just put a little bit of scent on there. Then I'll put it on a little pink and white jig like this with the eyes.
Pink and white. Always a classic for
tungsten crappie king without the hackles on it, or you can get it with the feathers. Fantastic. And it's just light because you want it to be able to float above them. Even using this with a small ice fishing lure, it's all about slow moving, especially when you're under 60 degrees. You're still in that feeding stage. They don't come into spawn right now. They're coming into feed. As we get near 60, then you got the crappies perusing and shopping for weed beds, and then they pick a spot and the males turn dark and you start getting them. But that's a ways away for up here. But Minnetonka, it'll take a while for it to get that warm.
Get warmed up. It's got to warm up a little. But like Matt was saying earlier, I mean, we've had some 65, 70 degree days. I mean, it went fast this year, the ice out. So let me ask you a question on that Smeltinator, with the blade hanging off of it. Obviously that's a bit big for crappies just by what I'm seeing, but what size, for Northland, how small do those come with a blade that you could rig up in handy and be productive?
The deep V, 16th ounce.
Okay,
and
good.
it's perfect size for it.
Yep.
And with the blade on the bottom, the deep V's, and I have those still in my guide boat, and I use the small ones even for walleyes in the summertime. There's size of baits changes with whatever they're feeding on, and most of the stuff I have here is still left over from fall, which is you go to the bigger sizes as the bait fish get bigger. But do I glue my plastics to the jig? That's a super good question, and I do, but I go through them so fast. We have unbelievable amount of small pike here, and so when you're fishing, it is just pike flack nonstop all day, and eventually you get lucky. You get them to the boat, you don't lose your jig, but I lose jigs like crazy. And so when I say, hey, let's use these deep V's, that's because I got all my tungsten bit off. Because I go through them. But another question is when you're using fish armor, the shuttle. I use the shuttle on the ice, but I also use it in my boat, my river boat, for the front. So I have the down rod from ice fishing, and I got it in the holder, and it's all, you can look at it on fisharmor.com. As you can see, my shirt here fits nicely. It's real slimming is what I like about it. And so, the slim shirts get worn, or the slim sweaters, but Fish Armor has hit something. That is a fantastic shuttle. They're going all over the country for people. You're joining friend in a boat. Do you want to fish blind? No, you want your own. So bring all that with you, and it's all in a shuttle. You never have to take it out of the shuttle. You got an amp battery in there. I got my Humminbird on there. It's ready to go, and so that's
It makes laying out your boat for no matter what you're doing. If you're trolling, you're casting, you got a guy in the front, a guy in the back like us up on the Rainy, for a couple tournaments. It's just so versatile to have that. And, some of the waves that we go across, like I said in the last episode, there's not a lot of bolts to be tightened on a rotomolded shell, right? So you're not going to have loosened bolts. You're not going to have any of that, whether it be ice or open water. So yeah, Fish Armor's been awesome.
And the thing is, if you're not sure where you want to drill to put the bracket, if you don't have to put a bracket. When we were up there fishing, he just had it running free, and he just set it places while he's fishing because he's always moving around. And if you have a bracket, you got to set it there. But it's nice if it's rough out. But up in the front, I just set it on the floor, and I'm just looking at it, and I've got the down rod up front, and I could take the down rod and switch it anywhere around the boat. I got it next to me in my tiller. I got it on the other side in my guide boat. It's right next to the wheel. I just like how the Fish Armor shuttle and that Ultralight Pro, phenomenal. And that down rod is incredible. So make sure to look at Fish Armor. If you're fishing in other people's boats or you're fishing in your own, you got a river boat, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Or you're sharing a bow. Two guys on the bow staring at one screen. I mean, if you have the means and you have your fishing partner has a unit, I mean, this just makes sense. Now you're not sitting there, crowding one screen, casting to the same fish. You're spreading out and you're kind of working the water like you should.
It's so much better. It's so concise and rotomolded. Like I've been seeing people show up at tournaments with their own shuttles of different kinds, and they're great, big, heavy. Now they
igloo coolers. I've seen them in igloo coolers. I've seen them, in Pelican cases, big like camera cases, guys are getting hardcore, but there are easier ways.
There really is. And for sturgeon, I get the question, what line do you use for sturgeon? And I like a heavier line, minimum 50 on up to 60 up to 100. You want to have heavy line. You don't want to break your hook, but I use Gamma Katsu, so I don't have to worry about that. Circle hooks, put crawlers on them, and I'm using real heavy size hooks and flat sinkers. But when I'm fighting a sturgeon, I want to get them in. I want to get a picture and get them back. I don't want to wear them down to the nub. So I'm heavy. I'm hardcore, and I have a jigging rod for the ocean of St. Croix, a heavy jigging rod, what you'd use for tuna or what you'd use for cobia. I can cast with it, so I can if I want to throw it past the boat, because sometimes the sturgeon you can just have it right by the boat. Other times you're in front of a lip or something coming up, and I want to get them in. And when you hook a 60, almost 70, or even a 70 incher, which is in Rainy now, Rainy River, it used to be the place of a lot of 30s and 40s, and then once in a while someone got a 50. Well, now it's a lot of the other stuff, and then 60s, and you're seeing 70s being brought up. So we're getting in close to that 100-pound sturgeon thing. So watch out, white sturgeon out west. Our sturgeon are getting big.
What's your biggest one, bro, out there?
My biggest one was 69.
Yeah.
To the to the middle of the tail, not to the tip. Now everybody measures to the tip. I wasn't about to. So that was a 70 something. It wasn't maybe 80 pounds, and I was worn out. I was ready to go home after that one. That was a lot of long battle, fast current, and I got a beautiful net. It's a halibut net, and we're a heavy rope. So when you get them in the net, you left it with the rope, if you remember. And remember getting that at a sports show one time. Nobody wanted it. Anybody want this? I said, I'll take it. A halibut net, and I don't know who made it or what it is, but that thing is heavy. But if you're in current, the net will pull you in without anything in it. It takes up a lot of force in that current. But
I got to
show the
boat.
Well, it's that time of year. The word on the street up at Rainy is the ice is getting chewed up. So it's making more and more access points, and the fish are biting better than they were. We had that cool down period. Now that sun and that heat's hitting the river, so it only takes a few degrees, and those walleyes will come from who knows where. Just like Winnie, they can sense that 1 to 2 degree change and rise in the temp. So it's awesome this time of year. I've always done.
Cool, bro, I don't want to interrupt you, but it's so cool too. I saw a map of Lake Erie and of the fish, how they transition throughout the year, how they come out of the Erie Islands and they go back out, and they just, I mean, it probably very similar to a lot of lakes that you're fishing. The fish have the repetitive habit, habits.
And the DNR fisheries know when they're going to come through, if they're going to come through on cutfoot, and it's crazy because while cutfoot is just opening in a few spots and starting to open, how do they know on Winnie? Way far away, under ice, and to funnel in, and they don't all go in there, obviously. We know that just a percentage goes in there, and it's just incredible what kind of runs you get on a walleye just from a change in temperature. And I think this weekend is going to be epic on Rainy. I'm going to be up there, and I still would like to beat my record of boat record. I didn't get them all, but 10 over 30 inches. And I was fishing with Matt Straw from In Fisherman and the Northland boys. And the last day with Matt Straw, we just had an epic day. And it was a day that started bad, and with just little fish, terrible slow fishing, moved all over. I was going along with side imaging, and I wasn't sure because it didn't look too good to be true. Like, it could be rough fish. They're all walleyes. I found like a 2,000 fish school, and incredible. And they haven't been to that spot since. So that was just an instant spot. So don't think that you can't find them, because we caught 28s, we caught 27s, were like rough fish. There were just so many big fish there, and it's all timing. And this is the weekend typically when some of the biggest ones get caught, the most get caught, and good luck. Bring your bicycle from where you're parking.
Yeah, there's no shuttle service, is there?
No, and for those getting up there super early, that's awesome. I hope you get good and tired about 2, so I can get there and fish the evening. That's one of my favorite times to go up there. But for those that get out farther this year, Last couple of years I didn't. I just stayed with the Rainy, or I fished the South Dakota border, Big Stone, down there by Artie Country, and sometimes Wisconsin. But you start getting out other places in the Midwest and go to the Straits of Detroit River, and a lot of different rivers in Wisconsin. Not skipping Wisconsin. Everybody knows they bite in the Fox and in all those different places, or they're chasing Green Bay. But a lot of places to go. But there's that little thing called WORK, and we're getting close to the end here. Somebody's going to have a pile of loot. Let's show that prize pack again. Let's rev up the crew here. Oh, look at specially picked out eye candy baits from Timberline Sports, some swags, hat, stocking cap. Look at how cool those are with a walleye, ready to grip and grin, a Purdy 30, and an MVP jig and a Smeltinator. Go make it happen. Get a picture. Look stylish. And that's about to be given away in a few minutes here. Outside of that, a reminder, if you want to go to Minfish, that's coming up on the 17th, and that's over in Alexandria. St. Croix, April 25th, event in Park Falls, Wisconsin. So at the factory store, we'll be there, and it's called Bros. Save the date, April 25th. Deals on rods, tackle, everything. I'll be there. Joel Nelson, Blake Tollefson, and we want you to catch more fish. So come out there. If I have to be there, I want you all to be there. And then so remember that. And before we do the giveaway, I gotta, this is how I keep people here. Unless they're tuning in and out. But I want to thank Chesterburg Toyota for being on-air sponsor. Chesterburg Toyota, state of the art, beautiful Roman-like Coliseum, and they can fix your stuff. But they got a deal, April deal at Chesterburg Toyota. Buy 3 tires, get one free. 3 tires, get one free at Chesterburg Toyota. Go there, get some tread on your truck, buy a truck, say hi to Brian and the gang, and then Timberline Sports and Black Duck. Stop in, get some minnows. He always has some really cool different flavors of minnows. He's going to have crawlers, and you can go there, order pizza, get your bait.
And burrito. I was going to say, and burritos and breakfast sandwiches. And
if you didn't win that hat, you could buy one there. You could buy a gun. They got everything there. They got Fish Monkey. You can go there and get your woolies. Get your woolies on. Fish Monkey, that's a river glove right there. The half glove. And also, I want to thank them for being an on-air sponsor. And then, of course, Brooke Drace, producer, Heather, marketing.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to say hello to Mom and Steve. My mom had some surgery, and just praying for her, but she's running circles around me all the time. And just wanted to say, too, is we actually have some lodging from the old Maple Leaf Resort. So if anybody's interested in getting on Leech Lake, where I met this man. I met
creative marketing, Heather.
32 years ago, I met this man at Maple Leaf Resort, and we have some lodging there. And contact me or Bro.
So thanks to the creative marketer, has a place for you to stay if you're going up to Leech Lake. So watch for that. And then, of course, everybody was on the show, Cal from Connecties, and had a little bit of a wiring issue there. Not wiring, microphone. But if you're plugging in and getting your boat ready to play, go to Connecties. Go to Connecties. It is so important. You're going to love it. Don't have your trolling motor hooked up to anything else. Just do its own battery. You graft your own battery. Cal from Connecties. And Matt Lardnoy from Amped Outdoors. Just a great outfit. So get that stuff. So without any further ado, can I
say one thing too? But I think you forgot one thing because it's super important. It's the same day as the Minfish deal, but April 17th, 5:30 to 8:30 at Rice Creek Hunt Club in Little Falls. It's the night with the fishing pros, legends, and future legends. It's a dinner. It's $40 a ticket. Go sit down with Bro at his table, shake hands with him, talk to a bunch of other legends in the fishing community, guys that we've all looked up to and learned from all our lives. But that is coming up here in just a few days.
A lot of cool people there. There's even some North Dakotians coming over.
Oh, I heard that.
To the Minfish meeting. They're trying to be legends in Minnesota too here. So come in and say hi to them. and that's really a cool thing, and the fundraiser because it needs it. Otherwise, we're going to have no history. So make sure come to the pro night. It's legends, future legends, and then of course.
So much fun. It's so much fun. You have fun every year, bro. You know it. I look at the smile on your face, and you don't ever want to leave, but you got it. You got a long drive.
Well, it's a fun place. Come and do that, and there's online auctions, so you can look up stuff. So definitely check it out. And so the winner, and Nick, I'll let you announce the winner here.
Oh, where am I looking?
Okay, I'll announce the winner. Scott Griffin, I hope you have a big tackle box and you got a bag for your haul. You're going to be styling on the river or wherever you're fishing. Scott Griffin, you just won the Rainy River prize pack. Congratulations.
Good for you. Good for you.
And so everybody, next week, we're back on for Wednesday at 7:00. We'll see you here. So have a great weekend. Maybe we'll see you on the Rainy.